This is Henry Mare's Leg 22 versus Ruger LCP II 22, a comparison. Let's hit the range. Now, all the targets we're shooting here today, they are at 7 yards. And in case you're wondering, no, I don't normally shoot my Mare's Leg this way. However, I'm at a local range run by the state, and I'm shooting in one of their handgun bays, and they wouldn't let me shoot my Mare's Leg. I had to shoot it like a pistol, we'll say. If I was in a rifle bay, they wouldn't have had me problem shooting it, say, with, holding it like it was a rifle or even shouldering it. But in the handgun bay, I had to shoot it one-handed like it was a handgun. Well, I guess I could have technically shot it two-handed, but you can't really grip that gun two-handed. So I had to shoot it one-handed like that. And don't rage at that range if you know which one I'm talking about. I can't really fault them for erring on the side of safety. I'd rather them enforce safety on me than me be the one that gets faulted for safety not being followed. Now, another thing that does cause is it slows me down because, you don't have that whole two-hand Western movie work the action style shooting this gun. And no, you cannot also do the Steve McQueen flip at the public range either, in case you're wondering. Now, to keep it fair, because I could not shoot the Mare's Leg how I wanted to at this range, I have limited the footage in this video to the one-handed shooting with the LCP Max, since it was sort of one-handed versus one-handed, if you will. So here you go. This is my one-handed at the top left target. Now, I'm going to post a link to the LCP Max first range report if you want the details on that gun. Since we have not done a review on the Henry, I am going to go into the details on that one. The Henry Mare's Leg 22 is a lever-action pistol capable of firing 22 short, long, and long rifle rounds. It has a 10-round capacity when shooting 22 long rifle and 16 in 22 short. The gun has an overall length of 25 inches. It features a 12.875-inch barrel. That is a blued steel barrel. It weighs in at 4.45 pounds, has an American walnut stock, and what Henry calls the large loop on the lever action. Now here we'll show you a close-up of the receiver and a little better view of the hammer, trigger, and lever. Now, of note is, and I didn't know this until looking at the manual, is you can put the hammer at quarter cock, and that was what they consider the safety on this pistol. It does feature a fully adjustable rear sight, and I believe this is the same sight that is on their rifles. It sure looks a lot like the one on my Henry 22 Magnum that I got 25 years ago. The front sight is a hooded blade sight. That hood is also removable if you're not a fan of the hood. Try and give you a shot of the sight picture, which is a little tricky with a DSLR on this gun. On the left side of the frame, it does have what I'm going to call a sling mount. I guess you could mount it to a sling. At least that's what I'd use it for anyway. The quote stock of this gun does look like it is set up to allow you to shoulder it. However, like I said, at my local state range, at the handgun bay at least, I could not shoulder this gun without feeling the wrath, so to speak. And as I said, it does shoot 22 short, long, and long rifle, and is stamped as such. Neat feature to have. I've only shot long rifle, by the way. And how about a little more range time? Alright, here I am shooting the LCP II with my right hand this time. And like I mentioned in our last video, the LCP II versus LCP Max comparison, my one-handed shooting needs a lot of work. I'm definitely going to work on that in the weeks and months to come. I need to tighten that up quite a bit. Now, I will say, however, that a nice thing about this LCP II and 22 is that being 22, it's very controllable with one hand. So if you are terrible at it, one-hand shooting like me, maybe this is a good option for you if you don't care about caliber. And now we're going to switch to our Steampunk Reality 1899 or whatever pocket gun. And the range is going to call stop. And so, well, we might as well get to doing our classic comparison shots. Now, as you can imagine, the mare's leg is a little larger than we're used to on getting shots like this, so we might not get every angle than you're used to seeing. But here we are showing you the left side and then the right side of the guns, or scratch that, reverse it. Now from there I'm going to show you the LCP II on top of the mare's leg, because we like to do those comparison shots. And here you can see the top-down size view for comparison. And we might as well give you mare's leg on top of LCP Max. Now I couldn't easily get the rear view, so you'll have to forgive me for skipping that. And now we're going to progress to the part of the video where we do a little more shooting, and I'm going to narrate over the top of it. With something like the CCI mini mags I was shooting here today, this mare's leg is a surprisingly accurate gun, or I should say not even surprisingly, it's just, Henry accurate if you shot another Henry lever action 22. Now my groups don't look that spectacular or even that good, and a lot of it has to do with the fact I never shoot this gun one-handed, and I work an office job and I don't lift bro, so this is a hard gun for me to actually hold up steady one-handed and try to get a good hold with it. I don't know, some people would be embarrassed to say it, but I don't know. I mean, I work an office job. What do you expect, right? And yes, in case you're wondering, I have done the Steve McQueen flip with this gun unloaded. It's not easy. Most of the time, the front sight's going to dig into you, and at this point, I don't know, I wouldn't do it anymore. I think it'll actually compromise the integrity of your lever eventually and sort of make that loose, if you will. Now here I'm doing more one-handed practice with my LCP II, and again the group is unspectacular. It's pretty terrible, though again the gun is very shootable in that regard, and I'm going to practice it a lot more, and I'm going to tighten that up, and you'll see one day I'll probably shoot at least an okay group with it. Now I've switched back to left-handed shooting, and for whatever reason, even though I mostly do my two-handed grip, right-handed dominant, left-handed I can just shoot better for some reason when I'm doing left-handed or single-handed only. Not sure why yet. Now I've switched to the left-hand mare's leg here, and in case you're wondering why did I buy this gun, it's a movie gun. If you watch movie TV, it's purely movie TV creation. Steve McQueen wanted Dead or Alive. It's also featured in great movie TV shows like Firefly / Serenity. Hard to go wrong with that show. Now the reason I went with this in 22 years ago when I bought it was, if you're going to get a movie gun, you might as well go with John Woo movie capacity, never reloading. And so I wanted something with 10 shots or whatever, and you only really going to get that in a 22. The thing they really never say in the movie or TV shows when you see this is, when it's really cut down, you only get like 3, 4, 5 shots, something like that on the centerfire versions of it. Pretty unspectacular capacity compared to something like the 22 version of it. Now that little tiny stock it has, it is actually just big enough to where you could technically shoulder it and not poke your eye out with the action shooting it. So besides being a fun, from the hip movie gun on those movie gun shoot days to have, I also thought it would be a fun one to have, throw in the trunk, loaded up with some mini mags or whatever. And when you're out there and you get to the farm or whatever and you want to plink a few cans from whatever distance, just have something fun, small, compact, easy to carry, light enough, accurate enough that, it sort of fits the bill on that. Now I know we spent a lot of time talking about the Henry on this one, and that's probably because we mostly feature pocket guns, and that's an unusual pocket gun, steampunk pocket gun, if you will. Now compared to it in a modern era, the LCP II and 22 is all around probably the better, more economical, all around just more fun gun. Same capacity, easier to reload, easier to shoot. I'm going to say not nearly as accurate, though the LCP II is definitely surprisingly accurate for its size. Now the Henry mare's leg is certainly the more accurate gun with the longer barrel, longer sight radius, yada yada yada. But that doesn't mean the LCP II and 22 isn't at least as fun to shoot, and probably what most people are going to shoot in far as ranges and distances and application. Now if you made it this far, You're probably wondering, what about these guns was similar? Well, they are both 22 long rifle, and they both have a 10 round capacity. Besides that, well, the comparison was fun to do, and I hope it was as fun to watch as it was to shoot. And as always, I hope you thought that information was useful. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.